Alright, it's about that time. This is my first tier list video I'm ever making, so sorry if it's a bit shitty. Oh, she's just fucking trash, man. Oh lord, she is just but who gives a shit? We'll start off with the DPS first. Billy. I think Billy, as one of the standard A rank that you get at the beginning of the game, just the baseline for DPS, then yeah, I think he isn't that good as he should be. Well, no, he should be as bad as he is, because of course he's free. But some Billy players have popped the fuck off with Billy, so he's still viable to a certain extent, but he himself as an alone unit doesn't really do much. But he still does his job, just not as good as, of course, the limited DPS. Neko is very underwhelming as a DPS, even for a standard bearer DPS. Like, of course, I've seen good clears with Neko. There have been some people who got 50k with like M6 Neko, and people with even maybe M3 Neko, but that can be any character. But Neko as an alone unit, from a casual perspective, she is nothing special and is pretty underwhelming and should not be invested to, probably. Corrin, again, same case. I think Corrin is actually even better than Billy and Neko. I feel like Corrin's just base kit just by default does more damage than these two. Not much to say about Corrin either. Alright, Ellen. Ellen, finally our first limited DPS. I would say put her here, because Ellen with her buffs definitely has gotten stronger as an alone unit, but and her also team potential has been increased by a whole shit ton as well. So now she's much more flexible when it comes to team options. Ellen has just become better overall than what she was definitely before the buff. But she also has a very high skill ceiling, but also that means that she also has a lot of potential to be played very well. So, alright, next up is Anton. I'd say Anton's still the same level. I think maybe slightly better than Neko, probably even with Billy. Because again, Anton is just like any of these other people. Like, they can work, but they just need to be severely supported. Like, they need Astra or something. They just, them by themselves with like maybe Lucy or something, like with standard support agents, aren't anything special, aren't really that good. Alright, Ji Yuan's next. Yeah, I would say Ji Yuan is the same tier as Ellen. Honestly, maybe slightly above Ellen. Mainly because her synergy with Astra. Because Astra and the Mono Ether team just works so well. Especially since there's so much Ether weak content in the game. And Ji Yuan is still probably one of the best aged burst DPS characters in the game right now. So that's all I have to say for her. Eve. Yeah, Eve, along with being just one of the best units by herself, has great team synergy with two of the strongest supports in the game, Lighter and Astra right here. But yeah, Eve by herself just has great synergy with most fire characters. Alright, next up is Haru. I'll put Haru here. Haru needs a whole lot of skill to be maximized. Like, you have to learn the manual chain attack combos in order for Haru to actually have comparable DPS to someone just like Ji Yuan, who you can literally just spam buttons on and get the same amount of damage. So Haru is fine. He just takes a lot of unnecessary skill to maximize. Oh Lord above. Oh no. Oh Lord. This pains me. It pains me so much. And I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all might be thinking she's going to get better because Orphe's coming as her sub DPS. Yeah, Aftershock Orphe. Or now she's going to be on the tier 1 tier with Orphe. But my thing is that this isn't Sanbi buff, this is Sanbi power creep. Because Sanbi's actual damage goes down, and Orphe just makes up for that. The team damage goes up, but Sanbi's individual damage goes down. So this isn't the buff for Sanbi, this is just Orphe overshadowing her in her own team. Sanbi's just there to let Orphe do her damage off field. So that's why Sanbi as an alone character stands right there, because nothing's changed with her unless you have Orphe. Sanbi is still just weak as a character due to how her kit works. Like, unless they actually rework Sanbi's kit in order for her to be good next patch by herself, then she's going to stay down here. which really pains me. I just want a Sandy buff that just directly buffs her, please. Please, Hoyo, I'm begging you. I am on my knees. Please. Soldier 11. I would say here. Soldier, I would say, is honestly probably the best of the TPS, anomaly included, like Grace included, of the standard banners. Because she also has Lighter as one of her supports. Instead of Neko, like, just having Astra. She can also run Astra. She also has Koldea as well. Koldea helps out as well. And then mainly Lighter. It's just that Soldier can be ran with good amount of teams. Oh, and also you have Opal Squad Trigger as well that she can be ran with. But yeah. Next is Hugo. Hugo goes up here. I would say this depends on the mode. This completely depends on the mode. If it's Shiyu, then I feel like it's here. If it's Shiyu, I feel like this is it. But if it's DA, then like here. Maybe here. If your Hugo's built better than your Ellen. But yeah, if it's DA, then Hugo is decent, but he needs a Pacific team setup. I feel like the best DA setup would probably be Lighter Lycon, probably, for DA. Lighter Astra can work as well, but I feel like in DA, you don't want Hugo to be on field nearly any of the time. So only having Lighter who can be on field in DA, that's not really that good, I would say. So like if you want to run DA, then if you're running the best team Lighter Lycon, then yeah, Hugo, I'd say maybe Hugo's here, you know. He hovers around this part. He hovers around both of these parts. But yeah. But if we're talking Shiyu, then yeah. Because his burst damage, of course, it's the quickest and fastest. It's the fastest in the game, basically. Like, some characters might do more burst damage, but literally Hugo does it in a second. He does it in, like, not even a second. You just press one button, and then he does a shit ton of damage. So yeah, when you're trying to Shiyu speedrun, yeah, Hugo might even be up here for Shiyu. Like, depends if your Hugo's has Sig or not. I feel like Hugo could be up here if you have his Sig, but he mostly hovers around this part. So like, I'll put him here. Alright, Yijuan. Yeah, here. I know she has a lot of content that's catered towards her right now, but then again, a lot of the stuff even before her was Ether Week, so that's good. And then also Yijuan as a character is really simple to play. All you do is just save resources for stun and then just hit your ult button twice, and then Cloud Shaper. That's all you have to do with Yijuan, and that's how you basically get everything out of her. So she's also very simple to use. So that's why I think she probably is going to stay up here, at least for now. Maybe in like 2 patches she'll drop down to tier 1, but for now she's definitely up there. Orpheus. I haven't seen much of Orphe, but since this will be a main DPS, this is the main DPS segment, I'd say here. Because Orphe might be down here actually. Maybe like here as a main DPS. Because of course, Orphe isn't meant to be a main DPS. Orphe is meant to stack damage with your main DPS. She's a sub DPS. So having her as your main DPS isn't very nice. Because that would mean you had to run like a stunner or a support or double support comp. Which I feel like with her synergies wouldn't work properly. Because like she does have good synergies. Like you could use Lighter Astra for example. But like Lighter staying on field for too long isn't very viable. But Orphe has to stay off field, so Lighter would be the only one on field. Unless you have like a couple mindscapes. Like if say you have M6 Lighter who can just stay on field for the whole entire time because he has infinite morale. Like Orphe won't be that good of a main DPS. Alright, now we'll move on to Anomaly. Alright, Grace. I'll say Grace goes here. I feel like as a main DPS, actually, main DPS, Grace goes here, I would say. She's kind of interchangeable with Anton, I feel like, as a main DPS. Yeah, I've tried Grace, and then, like, there's barely any Grace content. I barely see... Grace is probably the character with the least content in the game. Like, with the least YouTube content, at least. Like, with the least content on her. Because she's just so overshadowed. Like, there are so many better options than Grace. Like, using Anton is sometimes better than Grace. The only way I don't think I could see Grace as a main DPS, ever. But as a sub DPS, I feel like the only thing going for her, like, she has some viability as a sub DPS because mainly the R2 Haru Grace Rena team. That's the only team I could see her being viable in for right now. Jane. Here, honestly. Actually, probably above Orphe for main DPS. Because, you know, I don't really have much to say on Jane. Jane's kit is just simple. But there are many other characters that can do what she does just as good, if not better, than what she can do. Like, Piper. Where's Piper? We'll just do Piper's ranking early. Like, Piper is interchangeable with Jane. Like, for a limited TPS, being this close to an A rank option, there's no point in pulling Jane. There's not a point. Miyabi. Oh, Lord. Oh, she's just fucking trash, man. Oh, Lord. She is just absolutely fucking dog shit. I can't believe how trash this fucking character is, man. Like, I can't believe... Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's so dog shit, man. She's so trash. It's totally not like you can just infinitely freeze the enemy with mono ice. Or just hyper carry her and then get 40k without even turning your brain on. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's no competition. We already know where Miyabi is. Vivian as a main DPS. Like, pretty much physically impossible for Vivian to be a main DPS. Like, because her whole kit relies on her being off field and having others apply anomalies. Like, her anomaly herself, I feel like is shit. You would have to have a really cracked out support that is built for anomaly in order to have a main DPS Vivian. Alice. I would say Alice up here. Maybe up here, actually. That might be it. I feel like that might be it. Then again, Alice hasn't came out yet, so we don't know the full intricacies of her kit yet, but from what I've seen through playing story and speedrunning story, Alice isn't that bad, honestly, as a main DPS. She definitely has a lot of burst damage with her charge tech, but we'll just have to see when the second half of 2.1 comes up. And then Yanagi. I know she's up here, I'm just wondering. Maybe here. Yeah, I would say Yanagi is probably maybe like here. Yeah, I think there's good. Yanagi is definitely the best electric in the game, but her team options are normal and her weaknesses are normal. Like, there's some electric weak content, but there's not as much as like ice and ether weak content. And her team options are good, but they're not like crazy. So yeah, I feel like, yeah, Yanagi's good, but she's not cracked out of her mind like some people. The final list for main DPS. Alright, now we're on to the sub DPS. Alright, first we're starting off with Vivian. Yeah, Vivian as a sub DPS on anomaly teams is undisputed one of the best next to Yuzuha. Well, not even. Like, she is the best anomaly sub DPS because Yuzuha is just a support. She's not a sub DPS. But Vivian, yeah, like if we're going into sub DPS tier, probably here, yeah. Honestly. Corrin sub DPS. Like, I have never seen someone play Corrin as anything other than a main DPS. Like, she needs constant on-field time, so running Corrin as a sub DPS isn't a viable option in any regard, 100%. Same thing with Billy. He just needs constant on-field time. He takes up too much on-field time in order to actually be viable as a sub DPS. I feel like Eve works best as a main DPS, but I feel like she doesn't work badly as a sub DPS either. Alright, Grace. I would say, Grace as a sub DPS, probably here. Top of tier 2, maybe. I still don't know many teams that could be viable with Grace, but Grace is definitely better. Grace is definitely better as a sub DPS than she is a main DPS, so we'll put her up there. And again with Anton, still needs a whole bunch of field time. Same with Neko, still needs a whole bunch of field time. And Piper. I'll put Piper here because, again, same problem as these four. Still needs constant on-field time, but the thing is that Piper just by herself, Piper just does more damage than all these ones right here. She's just more viable as an anomaly character, so that's why she's higher than them. Orphe, I would say here, maybe here, like in between here, like this, because she's gonna be the one aftershock sub DPS I'm pretty sure, gonna be the one. So she's actually gonna be attacking off field, and you don't have to swap to her in order to get her to attack. Like say Eve, like you gotta swap into Eve and then make her do the chain attack, make her do her chain attack, and then swap back. But with Orphe, you don't have to do that. You gotta swap. All you'd have to do is swap in, fill up her gauge or whatever she has, and then she'll attack off field for like 20 seconds. And you don't have to swap to her. So yeah, when Orphe releases, she's probably gonna be a really good sub DPS for crit based teams. I think I would say Soldier. I'd say Soldier's here as a sub DPS. Again, Soldier just same problem as all these. Just takes up field time. Yanagi. I would say here. Yanagi, maybe above Eve. I think above Eve. Yeah, Yanagi doesn't need much time to do her thing. Yanagi can not take up as much field time as you want. She just needs to go in, use her EX special, and then get out. Yanagi doesn't take up much field time, so she's pretty viable as a sub DPS. Alice. I'm kind of iffy on Alice. I think Alice could work as a sub DPS, because in the fight with the new boss that I did during the story, she worked pretty well as a sub DPS when I was playing with Ijuan. She just got on field, used her resources, and then got out after filling up her energy bar a bit more. Then again, we would have to wait until she releases. I'll probably make an updated tier list when 2.2 comes out after testing all these. Jane. Probably higher than Grace. Again, because Jane just does slightly more damage. Like, these two are interchangeable. Because Jane just does more damage overall, but Grace, Grace is more kind of suited to that sub DPS role. So these are kind of interchangeable. We'll just put it there. Hugo. Hugo is definitely more suited as a main DPS. But like, say you have someone like, basically someone who's on field a whole shit ton. Like someone who takes up all the on field time, like Ijuan. Like someone who takes up all that time. And then once you hit stun, just totalize with Hugo. Yeah, that could work, but the thing is that not many of his team options promote that kind of playstyle. Like, if you did that, then you would have to have 2 DPS and then 1 stunner. Like, you would have to run Ellen lighter or something, which would not work well. And then Anby. Sandby. Yeah, actually, probably below Grace. Sandby's kit requires her to be on field at all times. Like, honestly, Sandby might go here. Sandby could even go here as a sub DPS. Because she needs constant time to fill up her bar and fill up her energy in order to do her thing. So, like, she can barely be in off field. She can barely be off field. Which, of course, wouldn't work with the sub DPS. Ellen, I think same boat. Just slightly better. Haru, better than Sandby as a sub DPS. Because Haru just needs to build up his quivers for stun, which he can do with just EX and chain attack. Well, Sandby needs to actually, like, do basics and dodge attacks, which require her to be on field. Ijuan, again, just, I would say here, just because of the sheer amount of damage she does. Yeah, again, requires just a whole bunch of field time. Ju as a sub DPS, I would say here, because of Ju's nature as, like, just a burst DPS, waste all her resources during stun. Like, you would just have to swap into her a couple of times out of stun to build up her resource and then just let her unload during stun. So I feel like, yeah, if you were running her with a more on-field DPS, it could work, but Miyabi as a sub DPS. Nah. Probably like here, yeah. Miyabi isn't built to be a sub DPS, but just because of the pure damage she does, and she just is up there because her damage is just out of this world. Oh, and that's it for sub DPS. So here's the final sub DPS tier. Alright. So now we move on to stunners. Alright, stunner tier list. Anby. Anby does her job, but she got power crept by Qingyi a long time ago. But of course, if you don't have Qingyi, she's an okay option. She's just straightforward. All she does is stun. So yeah, that's all there really is to her. Of course, it would be nice if she could provide some extra utility, but of course, she's the free A rank that you get at the start of the game, so I'm not expecting anything more. Lycon, yeah, up there. He just has a lot of synergy with some of the best teams in the game right now. Like what? He has Mono Ice with Miyabi. He has a lighter Lycon Hugo. What else? He can also be ran with Astra, like on Huko. He also can run Ellen like on Sakaku. Yeah, he just has enough team options, and his stun buff is definitely one of the best things about him. Yeah, I'd say Kaleda's just above Anby because Lighter is just so much better than her. And basically, every team Kaleda has is just a Lighter team. Like, if you don't have Lighter, if you don't have the Eve, Lighter, Astra team, then just replace Lighter with Kaleda. And that's like the same thing with every team. So yeah, it's just better to have Lighter over Kuldea. Qingyi. I'll say Qingyi's here. Qingyi is definitely a good on-field stunner. Definitely. Her resource is just a bit complex to manage. She does her job well. There's nothing really bad about Qingyi. Qingyi isn't just absolutely broken, but Qingyi isn't shit either. Lighter. Yeah, we already know where this guy's going. Yep. Literally best stunner in the game, undisputed. He's literally the undefeated champion still. No one is even on his levels. 75% ice and fire damage buff, like fire damage percent buff. It just makes any team ran with lighter, any fire or ice team ran with lighter just 500 times better. Like, lighter is a virtual requirement if you want to have a best in slot team for fire or ice. And only under very special circumstances, like Sokaku, Miyabi, Lycon, where you have to like use anomaly or something to freeze the boss, and you can't have fire overlapping. Like only in very special cases like that, there's a better team, fire ice team that isn't ran with lighter. Our next up, Trigger. Honestly, would say Trigger's ahead of Lycon, just because she provides a unique way of stunning. Because if you want to use your DPS on field for most of the time, but still get stun in, Trigger is the only option for that. At least the only S rank option. Of course, there's Pulchra. But she's basically just the worst version of Trigger. Trigger provides a unique utility. Oh wait. But there's also Jifufu as well now. Okay, so maybe here. Interchangeable. If it was before Jifufu's release, I would say here. But now it's kind of interchangeable because now we have Jifufu, which is kind of on the same tier as Trigger, just less specific. So Trigger depends on what team you're running. Like, what specifics are you running? Like, if you're running a Sambi team, if you're running like Sambi Nicole Trigger, then yeah, Trigger is definitely going to be better. For the wider range of team options, like if you need an off-field stunner, like, let's find a team. Yeah, maybe you want to run on-field Ju, and then Astra. Like, Jifufu could outmatch Trigger in that team, but it depends. It just depends on what team you're running, whether it's Trigger or Jifufu. And Jifufu herself, like, is universal, so I would say she's pretty good. Like, she doesn't do anything great. Like, Lighter does stuff better than her, but Lighter is more Pacific, while Jifufu just has more wider range of team options. Jifufu can just work on more teams than Lighter can. And that is it for the stunners. Alright, Nicole, fight me. Fight me. I do not care. Fight me. It's one of the best age supports in the game. Like, maybe here. Here and here. It's interchangeable. Like, Nicole can work in almost any team. Like, here, let's just go to Hypercarry. Yeah, we got Astra. You can run Astra. You can run Astra Anby. You can run Hypercarry Anby. You can run Hypercarry Corrin. You can run Hypercarry Anson. You can run Hypercarry Piper. You can run Hypercarry Yijuan. You can run Hypercarry Jane. You can run Hypercarry Ellen. You can run Hypercarry Yijuan. You get the point. Nicole just works on any team just because her Death Shred is so universal. Like, the only character that wouldn't work on is Yijuan, because Yijuan is frustrated and just ignores all defense. That's the only team Nicole wouldn't work on. Nicole's Death Shred is just really, really good on any team. So, like, her team flexibility is virtually infinite, and that's why she gets up here. Alright, Rena. I put Rena here because Rena, I feel like Pen is, not many characters really try to scale off Pen. I feel like most of the characters in the game prefer Death Shred over Pen. So that's why Rena's kind of down here, because not many characters scale off Pen using their like core skill and stuff. And also, maximizing Pen requires specific builds on other characters other than Rena, which can be a pain to do if you don't have the materials to completely change your builds. Like if you're running 4-piece Breach and Blade and then 2-piece Woodpecker, and you want to run Rena with your Miyabi, then if you want it to be optimal, then you have to get 2-piece Pen on your Miyabi, which rolling proper substats in order for it to not be shit could be a real pain in the ass. So yeah, I think Rena's stuck down here. I'll say Lucy's here. Lucy is just a worse Astra. A free-to-play option for Astra. Then again, her buffs are really universal as well, because every attack agent, every DPS agent in the game wants attack, and that's what Lucy gives. So I feel like Lucy could go up here as well. Lucy is just not a bad DPS by any means. It's just, she's just overshadowed by Astra. Sokaku. I'd say Sokaku's up here. Sokaku's here. Mainly because of its synergy with the teams. Maybe even here. Sokaku is really good, honestly, in my opinion. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Astra's max attack buff is 120, or 1020. That's what I mean. Or 1200. Astra's max attack buff is 1200. And Sokaku, if you use all 3 Vortex stacks, is 1000 if you have the proper build on. So that's only 200 less than Astra. And since Sokaku has team synergy with some of the best people in the game, like, of course, Astra, because Astra is just really universal, but also lighter, who buffs ice a shit ton. And also, she works in mono ice teams, like Yuzuha Miyabi, and then of course like on Miyabi, the team I run. So yeah, she just works in more teams. She just works in a lot more teams and provides some stronger buffs. And then Astra. Yep. Undisputed. Yep. Best support, or best universal support, as always since release. Nothing's changed about Astra. Astra is probably going to be meta for maybe like 6 more months, maybe even a year. Astra's just so universal. She still provides the best raw DPS buff, like the best raw attack buff in the game. It's also pretty much full uptime constantly. And yeah, Astra just is undisputed. Still the best support. And now we have Yuzuha. Best anomaly support in the game. Like the only reason she's not above Astra is because Astra still outperforms her in non-anomaly teams, which I think there's more of. Like, yeah, we have Neko teams, we have Sandby teams, we have Goran teams, Billy teams, Anton teams, Soldier teams, Hugo teams, Ijuan teams. Yeah, there's just more crit agents. There's just more crit agents than there is anomaly agents right now. So currently Astra is just better because Astra has more team-wide options. But that doesn't mean Yuzuha is bad for crit teams. Yuzuha still provides an attack buff, I'm pretty sure. So even though Astra is still better, Yuzuha is definitely a good pull for anyone who needs a good support for any team. Now we move on to the final stage. The defense characters. I don't even know what Ben does, bro. Like, what does bro do? I know he scales up defense and gets more attack, but like, does he even buff anything? I don't even fucking know, bro. Like, all you Ben mains, please tell me in the comments or something, because I have no idea what this dude does. Like, I'll put him here because I've just seen that his attack scaling can be strong. Like, you can get up to 4k attack with Ben. So yeah, I think Seth goes there. I think before this patch, Seth might have gone there, but now Seth's here because Seth is just a worse version of Yuzuha. Seth is specific to Anomaly as well. Like, Seth caters towards Anomaly as well, which, as I mentioned in the support tier list with Yuzuha, there's more crit teams than there is Anomaly teams. So, you know, they're not as universal on Anomaly supports. So, wait, did I just completely forgive Bernice in my other tier list? Wait, I did, didn't I? Oh my god. Alright, Caesar. For defense characters, she is by far the best. For people like Piper. Where's Piper? Piper. Like, for characters who, like, don't have many invincibility frames, but need to stay on field and, like, do a certain attack, and are vulnerable during that attack. Yeah, like, that's when That's when Caesar should be used. That's when Caesar's really useful because no other character can do that currently. And plus, she gives a constant buff to any on-field character. So, on-field DPS heavily benefit from having Caesar. And put Pan in tier 3. Like, I can't put him any higher, man. Pan is just not good. He is good, but the thing is, he only buffs Yujuan. He buffs one single character for now. One singular character he buffs. He doesn't buff anyone else. So yeah, it's literally, he's limited to only Yujuan teams, like Yujuan Pan Astra, Yujuan Pan Jafufu, Yujuan Pan Pulchra, Yujuan Pan Trigger. That's basically it. Maybe Yujuan Pan Qingyi. But other than that, he has no teams. He can only be ran with one DPS. And even though he's good for that DPS, he is not good for anyone else, which of course is a problem. This is the final tier list for defense. And for all you people, I'll just make a combined tier list. Start with Jane. Jane, tier 2. She's good, but she's not too good. Piper can do basically everything she can do and has the same team flexibility as Piper. Anyway, let's just put Piper up there. Soldier 11 goes here. Soldier isn't bad. She has some good teammates, but her alone as a character is not the best that she could be. Sandby, yeah, probably up there. Sandby, of course, is gonna get better with Orphe, but alone as a character without Orphe, she's just meh. Yanagi, say like, yeah, like somewhere in between here. That's maybe here. Ellen, bottom of tier 1, I would say. Yujuan there as well. Maybe higher than Ellen. These two are relatively even. Okay, Hugo, say slightly above here. Slightly, like right here. Then Yujuan, me here, maybe right here. And Haru, right there. Alice, I'd say here. Maybe here. Orphe, here I would say. As a sub DPS, she's probably going to be one of the best, if not the best. So, Bernice, here. Echo, trash in all metrics, goes there. I think Anton's slightly better. Grace, definitely below Soldier though. Miyabi, undisputed, best character in the game. Billy, same as Anton. Vivian, yeah, best anomaly sub DPS in the game. Bell and Wise, yes. we aren't raking those. I like there, just right there, just even with those two. Nicole, fight me, I don't care. Lycon, we'll go with like here. Rena, probably ahead of Jane. She still is the only person in her class who can do what she can do. So she's not power crept, so she's exclusive. So that makes her better. Ben, yeah. Koldea, maybe like here. Chingy, I'd say Chingy isn't bad. I think Chingy's like maybe here, like top of there. Seth, like bottom of tier 2. Caesar. If we're combining support and defense, like treating them like the same thing, I'd say here. No. Here, probably. And then lighter, yep. Lighter, best stunner in the game. Goran, same with these guys. Lucy, Lucy here. Pulchra, bottom of 1.5 for me. Sokaku, yeah, like tier 1. Astra, of course, tier 0. Trigger, honestly, right next to Orphe. Jafufu, right next to Trigger. They're both pretty equal. Pan, say like, I don't want to be disrespectful to Pan mains. I guess here. There is fine. Izuha, yep, best anomaly support in the game. And then that is it. Alright, this is the final tier list. We ended with more tier 0s than I thought we were gonna have. You know what, just for the fuck of it, I'm gonna argue with why I put Nicole there. Guess what? She provides 40% Death Shred. And guess who needs Death Shred? This person needs Death Shred. This person needs Death Shred. This person could use Death Shred. Also could use Death Shred. This person, 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 all of it. Well, not that person, but this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, maybe that person, this person, this person, this, like, Nicole, Death Shred is literally good for 80% of the characters. And plus, Nicole with M6 provides crit rate, which is like 15 crit rate, which makes the difference in a lot of teams. So yeah, in her accessibility, like you can literally start building her as soon as you start you have her. You have her in your account the second you make his endless account. Like, look at all these. You have to pull. You have to pull for this one. And 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 you have to pull for this one. But this one you don't got to do shit with. This one, you literally just get. You don't even have to pull for them. Like, Nicole's versatility and also just early on flexibility and overall flexibility with teams. She's just good. Seriously, she's just one of the best supports in the game. Also, Sokaku's interchangeable. Yeah, there's the final tier list.